Kick, Executive Director of the American Numismatic Association. Welcome to the World's Fair of Money. Philadelphia is rich in numismatic history. The United States Mint was established in Philadelphia, and in 1792 the first coin was struck for distribution, a half-diem. You can see this rare piece in the museum showcase exhibit area. Other items with historical significance are also on display, including documents signed by George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, appointing David Rittenhouse as the first Mint director. The World's Fair of Money bills itself as the most educational coin show in the country, and it's true. Whether you're a novice collector or have been in the hobby for many years, the show offers a plethora of seminars and free presentations to help you become a better and more knowledgeable collector. Make the most of this event that connects a community of collectors embracing the culture, art, science, and history that is numismatics. At this time, I'd like to introduce President Gary Atkins.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks to everyone for being here in Philadelphia. I think you're going to have a great time here at the ANA convention. Lots of great things to see and do, and so we hope you enjoy yourselves while you're here. First of all, I'd like to thank Kim Kick, our executive director, and the staff. As you can imagine, putting on a convention of this size is a tremendous effort. And if it weren't for Kim and her staff, we couldn't get it done. And also with all our volunteers. So I want to thank them. First thing, give them an applause. The World's Fair of Money regularly draws thousands of attendees from all over the world. And with nearly 500 tables and upwards of 1,000 dealers, this show will enable you to build your collection from the best numismatic inventory available. Both Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers Galleries both will be here holding multiple sales throughout the week. If you get a chance, make sure you take a look at those auction lots. And many of the prices realized, I think, are going to be record breakers. There's some very interesting coins in the groupings. So be sure to check with your official show guide for auction times and the lot viewing times and locations. We have some world-class exhibits, as always. It's a huge draw for us here at the convention. There are a number of incredibly rare items that you'll want to see, including a 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, valued at $1 million, and the unique Nova Constellational Quint, the first coin struck under authority of the United States Mint in 1783. And through the efforts of Director David Ryder at the U.S. Mint, we're very proud to have 3 1933 double eagles on display at the U.S. Mint booth. So you want to make sure that this is a once-in-a-life opportunity to see those coins. If you haven't seen them before, it's a phenomenal thing. So they have 2 from the Langford hoard, and then they have the one number 11, the mysterious coin that just got turned in. And that's the first time that one will be on display here at our convention. So I encourage you to go see that. And I thank Director Ryder and his staff for taking the efforts and making this happen for us. It's really a great thing. I'm especially pleased that we have the United States Mint and the Bureau of Engraving and Printing here with us today, and several foreign mints that are also represented here at the show. In fact, joining us today is U.S. Mint Director David Ryder and Bureau of Engraving and Printing Director Len Oliar. So we thank you, gentlemen, for attending. U.S. Treasurer Jovita Carranza had also hoped to join us today, but she had a scheduling conflict and was unable to make it. So before I introduce our special guest, I'd like to recognize our board of directors, our current ANA governors. Please raise your hands and be recognized. Gentlemen right over here over there. If it wasn't for them, the ANA couldn't exist either. Great leadership. Thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize all of our current ANA officers, past presidents, and governors. If we have any in the audience, would you please raise your hand and be recognized? Go over here. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for your service to the ANA. And now it's my great pleasure to welcome United States Mint Director David Ryder. Director Ryder is no stranger to numismatics, having previously served as Mint Director from 1992 to 93. As the 39th Mint Director, he leads an organization of almost 1,700 people at 6 facilities across the United States. In addition to the Mint, Mr. Ryder's prior government service includes Deputy Treasurer of the United States, Deputy Chief of Staff to Vice President Dan Quayle, and Assistant to Vice President George H.W. Bush. Please join me in welcoming Director Ryder.
Well, I think you guys probably would rather get inside and start spending your money than listen to another government speech, so I'm going to cut my remarks somewhat short and just say welcome. I'm glad to be here. This is quite a convention. My last time was 25 years ago, I believe, when I was the 34th Director of the Mint. I came to an ANA convention. I had a great time. But I welcome you all here today. We're going to cut the ribbon shortly, but before we do that, I'd just like to give you a couple ideas of what I'd like to accomplish in the next 5 years. I've got a very keen interest in education, to educate the coin collectors, educate the kids of the world on how to collect coins, on how to save their money, on how to use money as a premise of a foundation of a good financial education. So education, I think, is going to be a cornerstone of some of the things that I'm going to try to do as Mint Director. Additionally, you might have been reading about anti-counterfeiting problems that we have in the industry with some of our gold products globally with all the mints. That's an initiative that I'm going to take on, having come from the private sector, spent 25 years growing a business in the anti-counterfeiting industry. That's an area that I'm going to focus on with ICTA and the anti-counterfeiting group with Beth Deisher, who you probably all remember, is a keen interest of mine to find solutions to that vexing problem. And I've already had quite a number of technology companies come to my office and talk about some technology that we might be able to incorporate from an anti-counterfeiting point of view. We'll have at the U.S. Mint booth a consumer alert on the subject that you could pick up, a small tent card that you could take with you and learn a little bit more about it from a consumer's point of view buying U.S. Mint products. I'm also very interested and eager to work with the CCAC committee, the Citizen Coin Advisors group. I've met with them now a couple times about coin design. Coin design and getting good product out of the United States Mint is very important to me. So I hope to be working with Congress and as we develop new coin programs that Congress appropriate and approve. We're going to be working together to try to create some new designs, create new interest for the hobby, create new products that are going to hopefully become rarities in this industry. So we're going to try to create Mint types of products that will create good value for you as coin collectors, starting with coin design, limited mintages, and working with the government and the guys up on Capitol Hill who produce this legislation, and try to create better legislation that helps the industry. In closing, I just want to say thanks very much. Thanks for all your support. We at the Mint, I'm looking forward as the 39th Mint Director to work with you all, listen to your voice, and take that knowledge back and create better products for you as a collecting community. And I give you my word on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Ryder. It's great to have somebody in charge at the Mint now that really has a passion for numismatics, so we're very pleased about that. Also joining us today is Len Oliar. He is the Director of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Mr. Oliar has a long history with the BEP, beginning his career there in 1988 as a systems accountant. Over the years, he also has served in roles as a Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Director, becoming Director in 2015. Mr. Oliar focuses heavily on ensuring that our currency is secure while maintaining a diverse workforce of over 1,500 employees in both Washington, D.C. and Fort Worth, Texas. It's also worth noting that he has been a coin collector for more than 50 years, so we're glad to see that. So please help me in welcoming Mr. Len Oliar. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I had my wife, as she usually does, review my remarks to make sure that I had them appropriately aligned, and she noticed that I left out the most important thing from her aspect, and that's that we're in the home of the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Which, as a Steeler fan, hurts me to say, but congratulations. It's great to be here in Philadelphia and have an opportunity to participate in the ANA convention again this year. And this year we're celebrating the 125th anniversary of the Educational Authority on Numismatics, the ANA. Currency and coin have powered economies around the globe, and numismatics and collecting tell the story of advance of civilization. And despite the headlines, demand for currency and coinage remains resilient in the face of many new payment technologies. This year, BEP has a display with over $1 billion in antique currency and many items from our Historical Resource Center that have a Philadelphia accent, and several World War I currency exhibits to share, along with many other new products. We also have a new product, a $2 Lucky Panda, and 2 World War I products, the World War I 100th Anniversary Commemorative and the World Series 1918 $2 Battleship Federal Reserve Note. While I'm here to share this exciting opportunity with you, I also want to talk about an exciting opportunity for BEP. David Ryder and myself are forming a strategic partnership of BEP and the U.S. Mint. And the first step of this partnership is BEP is going to be putting its products on the Mint's order management system. We're going to start to work together to serve you all better. More information on that will be forthcoming, but a launch date is expected later this fall. In addition, Director Ryder and I are going to continue to work together to find better ways to serve the numismatic community. I want to thank you all for giving a chance to be here and ask you to visit us in booth 218. Thank you and have a great conference.
Thank you, Director Oliar. Thanks to both of our guests for being with us this week. The American Numismatic Association is grateful for the continued partnership that we have with the United States Mint and the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. They do a great deal for us, and I really appreciate the opportunity that you guys provide by being here at the show and setting up your booths here. So thank you very much. The World's Fair of Money, as I mentioned earlier, wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the efforts and generous support of our sponsors and patrons. And so those of you who are in the audience tonight, if you want to raise your hand, I want to recognize you for being patrons and helping us out here. So thanks so much. We thank you for your service to the ANA. So, at this time, I'd like to recognize the following dignitaries from our host coin club. The Pennsylvania Association of Numismatists, PAN, as it is called for short there, and our convention chairs. Our host chair, Edward Hammond. Our assistant host chair, Patrick McBride. Our collector's exhibits, Tom Corey. Money Talks, Richard Jewell. Money Talks assistant, Wayne Homran. Scout Workshop Chairman, Richard Jewell. Pages, Randy Mastrangelo, and our page assistant, Matthew Uran. They're all here. Thank you all for your help here. Our Goodfellow Award is presented to the show's host chairman in recognition of the many hours devoted to assisting the ANA staff with this convention. I'd like to ask Ed Hammond to step forward, which he already has, to receive this award, the Goodfellow Award. Get this fancy medal here. Thank you, Ed. You want to say a few words?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Next, I'd like to present the Lewis S. Werner Memorial Host Club Award, presented to the Pennsylvania Association of Numismatists for their support as the host club. Here to accept is Pat McBride. Shake?
Yeah, let's do the shake. There we go.
Thank you so much.
I'll say a quick word.
Yeah, go ahead.
I won't be long. Thank you. Welcome to Pennsylvania. Welcome to Philadelphia. And I hope you come back in March, and welcome to Pittsburgh. So we've got a little Pennsylvania going on here, and I hope you enjoy the state. On behalf of PAN, I'd like to thank our PAN president, who's also an ANA board of governor member, Tom Uram, and all our volunteers. We have about 30 volunteers with the yellow shirts roaming around to help everybody. So if we don't know the answer, we'll go hide somewhere. Don't worry about it. So the Westchester Coin Club and some of the coin clubs out east here were a big help in helping us with some volunteers. That's good. And our outreach is going across the state. So we're looking for a good Pennsylvania for the next 2 years, the rest of 2018 and 2019. So thank you for coming, and enjoy the show.
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for anxiously is the cutting of the ribbon. So I'll invite Mint Director David Ryder and BP Director Len Oliar and the ANA Board to stand behind us here, and we'll cut the ribbon.